So in this segment, we're gonna get real serious here. We're gonna talk about belts and superchargers, because without a belt, a supercharger doesn't function. So let me introduce a special guest here. He's a professional.
I don't know where the fucking door handle is.
And we flew him in from Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Scott Turbowski, master turbo technician and belt professional. So we're with Turbowski here. He's flown all the way from Florida. So how was your trip?
From Florida?
Yeah. Well, you came out of this car.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, yeah, I was racing my Formula One car down there.
Yeah, and how did that go?
Crashed into the wall first turn.
First turn? Yeah. You just pitted in?
I forgot to warm the tires up.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And that makes a lot of sense why you brought us back a racing belt from Gates.
Yes.
So how much more money is this belt over the standard one?
Oh, it's got to be at least $200 more.
Yeah, well, it's about $60 more.
If it was a red or yellow racing one, it'd be $300.
Okay.
The blue is a little cheaper.
Turbowski is a master belt mechanic. He installs turbos, but he also installs belts. So we're gonna take a look at these belts and see what the difference is. Well, let's talk turkey here. If you're a supercharger owner with a Vortech kit, you can go into any parts store and find this belt because it's straight off of a Hyundai Genesis 3.8 liter V6. So you go in, you say, I have a Hyundai Genesis 3.8 liter, and they'll give you a belt that will fit the Vortech kit. If you're an Innovate supercharger only, this is where you're gonna really stand out from the Vortech owners. You go into a parts store, and what motor is that, the belt off of?
Dodge Caliber.
Which motor is that? The 2 liter, actually. It's off of a 2 liter Caliber, which is designed from the wheels up to be one of the most hardened sports cars ever designed. Or you could get a belt from a Sebring with a 2 liter. It's your choice. But that's how you know which belt you're gonna use for your Vortech or Innovate kit. Superchargers use belts. You don't like belts, do you?
No.
No, not at all, I can tell. Scott tends to wear these belts in public, so he likes a little bit of color. But as it pertains to the Vortech kit and the Innovate Supercharger kit, which was just released in the US on intercooled, they both use Gates Micro V belts. Now this is the standard one, and you can tell because it's black. This is the racing belt, and you know it's the racing belt because it's blue, and the model number is exactly the same except they throw an RB at the end for racing belt.
Oh, I was wondering what the B meant.
Yeah, it stands for belt.
Racing belt.
Okay, this is just pure performance. Now you want to know why you're going to pay all this money for this blue belt. And why did you fly in from Florida?
To install this belt.
Okay, so Scott's a professional belt installer. He's been trained for years on this. And why is this blue belt more expensive than this black one?
I told you, the fucking blue sticker. It's gonna peel off anyways.
Well, that might be we can't just take it from Scott's point of view. Even though he's a professional, I have an email here from Gates who manufactures these belts, and they told me specifically why you want a blue belt over a black one.
And why not a green belt over a blue belt?
Because they don't make a green belt, and it's not a garbage truck.
Oh, okay.
But it probably will be a garbage truck by the time I blow it up, or in a garbage truck. So anyway, Gates emailed me back very kindly, and they said the blue belt uses a reinforced overcord top of the belt for higher RPM applications and have higher internal cord pack to increase the strength and reduce the stretch over time and under higher loads. So what that means is I haven't the slightest fucking clue. It means it's awesome. And we're gonna put it on this Vortech Supercharge kit. And I highly recommend it because clearly it's vastly superior than this.
What? The packaging also.
Show them the packaging.
Racing, non-racing.
End of story.
That's it.
So you've heard the description of the blue belt. We swapped it in. The initial impressions was it sounded quieter. It seems a little bit tighter. The belt is more rigid. Now, is it going to loosen up over time and go back to how it was? Probably. But I would say my recommendation is if you're going to do this kit for the first time, just spring for the blue belt right off the bat. Just do it when you put in the kit. And the reason why is this isn't really a concern, it's more of an observation. But after doing our track testing in autocross, this blower is extremely hot, extremely hot. And they've designed the support bracket around it to dissipate heat, and it makes a lot of sense. But the difference from stock in this area is so extreme that after our autocross runs and idling, when you delatch the hood, you can't even touch this hood area up here for more than a couple seconds without burning your hands. That's how hot it gets. So this belt, this blue belt specifically, is designed to resist and deal with more heat and higher RPMs than the standard belts are. So on paper, it makes sense, and that's why I would recommend to do it right off the bat. If you already have your belt on the car, I would say it's probably not gonna matter. Just monitor it over time. The only reason I did mine is because I had to remove the belt and the intake tube and the pulley. So the $1,000,000 question, do you have to pull the Vortech Supercharger off this car to change the belt? And the short answer is no. However, this is a garage-only operation. It requires a plethora of tools and time to do this. So to do it, we had to pull the Vortech gearbox. We had to remove the belt covers from the AC compressor and the alternator. We had to remove the intake tube. Once you do that, you have a lot more room to work. Next, we detensioned the belt, pulled it off the water pump, and then we removed the bolts on the supercharger bracket in strategic locations to be able to pull the bolts out to loosen up one of the pulleys, which we loosened one of the idler pulleys right by the dipstick. That's where we were able to slide the belt out of and then slide the new one in. Now, you want this car to be absolutely bone cold when you do it, because not removing this is gonna mean you're gonna have to be sticking your hands behind here to route the belt while this bracket's still on. That's what we did. It took a lot of time and patience to do it because you're working in a tight space, but at least you didn't have to pull this off. Schedule yourself a good hour to do it and just be ready to be a little bit patient because it's frustrating.